Hello everyone, my name is Vinay Srivastav. I am a general manager with Reliance Jio's Standard Group. I am a rapporteur of many study items at TSGSI, including one on the next generation cellular technologies. I will be representing TSGSI in the event today. The topic of today's discussion shall be beyond 5G communications. Interestingly, the communication industry is characterized by generation cycles of close to 10 years. Each new generation is aligned with global targets set by ITU and attains new performance levels. Currently, ITOR is in process of collating inputs from various SDOs and other stakeholders across the globe towards IMT 2030 technology, which is also touted as 6G. The idea is to publish the vision document for IMT 2030 by end of year 2022. Let's then have a look at the possible timelines for the next generation technology to come into existence. ITR plans to publish the vision document for IMT 2030 technology by mid to end of year 2022. This in turn will trigger the work towards the requirements document for IMT 2030 technology. Such a work from the working group typically takes 2.5 to 3 years. It's safe to assume that by the end of year 2026, ITOR should have published the requirement documents for IMT 2030. This in turn will enable the SDOs to start the standardization work towards the competing technologies towards IMT 2030. The standardization work itself could be divided into three parts. The initial study phase, which would probably compare the different competing technologies submitted to a given SDO, and then from the selected technologies, the normative work in forms of the actual specification. Once the specifications are in place, then the development cycle of the commercial devices and network equipment will start. This should enable the start of the deployment for the next generation technology to start in year 2030. Experience has shown that not all the initial ideas related to a new generation of technology could be attained in a single go. The ongoing evolution in 5G serves as a good example towards this statement. 5G was initially expected to conform to three communication capabilities, namely enhanced mobile broadband, massive machine type communication, and ultra reliable low latency communication. However, in its first release, release 15, 5G introduced only enhanced mobile broadband capabilities. For massive machine type communication, it kept relying on a previous generation technology, NB-IoT. As the work on future generation technology gathers some steam in academia as well as industry, and 6G starts taking some shape, a natural question to ask is whether the final form of 6G be impacted more by the ideas which evolved from the 5G era, or will they be more marked by the revolutionary ideas being proposed by proponents? In our view, it will be a mix of two. However, one cannot avoid the evolution of technology from 5G to 6G. That is inevitable. Non-terrestrial networks enabling ubiquitous coverage, new IoT classes of devices capable of streaming videos, the wireline wireless convergence, incorporation of AI ML, cell-free mesh connectivity enabled by the side link. All these aspects have been opened up in 5G, and they need to evolve to attain the complete maturity in 6G. However, the revolutionary ideas like haptic internet by an end-to-end latency of sub-millisecond across internet, the terahertz sensing, timing as a service without GNSS support, holographic media streaming through your televisions as well as handsets, interplanetary and underwater communication are the dreams which would be pursued for the best in future. One of the factors having major impact on the radio access network part of the future generation technology is the identification of the spectrum itself. Now it is well understood that the target data rates for future generation technologies can be up to the order of hundreds of Gbps. To attain these data rates, one can consider the improvement in spectral efficiency of the current physical layer. However, that alone will never ensure that we will be able to attain these data rates. Hence, it becomes vital for us to consider higher spectrum for communication in the future generation technology to be able to attain these data rates, as higher spectrum has more contiguous chunks of free bandwidth available. ITUR has recognized this and it has opened up discussion for spectrum chunk from 100 GHz to 300 GHz. Many geographies across the globe have also opened up this spectrum chunk for experimentation by academia and industry. This brings in another interesting aspect. As we move to the higher spectrum chunk, the current generation physical layer waveform renders unuseful. OFDMA has served 4G and 5G well, however, it may not be the right waveform to be used above 100 GHz. Hence, there has been a lot of interest and discussions across academia towards new candidate waveforms for the next generation technology. This being one part, the other part is an interesting observation of the light communication coming out as a good alternative for unlicensed usage. The light communication has many advantages as compared to the RF communication. An intelligent network has been a fascinating dream since the 4G era in form of SON networks. With the advent of artificial intelligence, the interest has literally caught fire, with AI being proposed for air interface, for management, orchestration, to aid positioning and whatnot. However, the privacy and security concerns around the use of artificial intelligence would require to be carefully reviewed before it gets into standardization of next generation technology. On the other hand, the natural intelligence is something which should be part of the architecture and deployment of next generation technology itself. To enable ubiquitous connectivity, we should have both terrestrial, non-terrestrial, underwater deployments. The ubiquitous compute power should be provided so that all the devices could share the compute requirements. Last but not the least, it's crucial to bring a balance between the business demand and social needs in the future generation technology. The future generation technology should not end up being merely a showcase of the IPRs, but it should also serve the larger interests of the groups, both in urban as well as rural forms. To enable this, we need to come up with innovative revenue models. We should have energy efficiency and sustainability built in as part of the technology so that the deployment at a very low OPEX is possible both in urban as well as rural scenarios. On that note, I would like to close this presentation today. Thanks a lot for your patience and please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.